I'm Max Klein, AFM number 38, and I've been racing with the club for 9 years.
Okay, now we get into the good stuff. When did you realize you were more attracted to men than women?
This interview, really. There was no desire whatsoever, and now it's just flowing from me. If nothing else, the outtakes of this one are going to be phenomenal. My next door neighbor had a little mini bike, and he gave me a ride up and down the street on it when I was like 6 or 7, something like that. The problem was, and I know my mom's going to see this eventually, my mom was an EMT first responder in a helmet optional state. So anytime I said I wanted a motorcycle, she offered to take me out on a job for a night and show me what she was scooping up on a nightly basis. So that wasn't going to happen. And it wasn't until way later in life that I started riding motorcycles, like in my 30s. Most of my friends that I did street rides with were doing track days. And I started out just going as a spectator and seeing how much fun they were having. I didn't have leathers. I didn't think my bike was going to be good enough for a track day. And then I won a track day with Kegwins at the track at the time. One of their instructors was giving away a track day on barf. Make Me Laugh was the title of the post. So I posted a photo of me in full leathers with my Basset Hound ears out like they're handlebars, and we're both looking through the turn together. And that was hands down, like, people that entered the contest said, no, give it to that guy. He won this one. And just kind of went, oh, why did I wait so long to do this? It's a totally different environment than the street. Everybody kind of, even people that don't like each other, help each other out at the track. It's like it's a magical place that doesn't exist in normal reality. What got me into racing was my friend Rory Camper, who sadly has passed away. He was an instructor, and he was following me around, and he asked me a couple of questions about my riding, and I just made some excuses. It's hot, I'm tired. And he said, that right there, that's why you will never be a motorcycle racer. And as a self-proclaimed not competitive person, my wife will disagree with that. That lit a huge fire under my ass, and as a giant middle finger to him, I went racing. And I threatened to take his number because he stopped racing for a year, and I was like, oh, guess what? Your number's available. Not only am I going racing, but I'm taking your number too. And that put foot to his ass, and he went back out there and raced for another few years after that. So it just was, it's like that friendly competition. My friend Gordon Pohl, we worked together at Cycle Gear at the time. He said, I'm going to go racing. And I said, well, if you're going to do it, I'm going to do it. And it was kind of a vice versa. Well, if you're going to do it, I'm going to do it. So we both did our NRS together. We both did our first race together. And just, people had said that I couldn't do it or shouldn't do it or didn't have the right mentality to do it. It made me rethink my day-to-day world, because I know how racers think. I knew how they thought before I got involved with it, just because I'd been taking photos of them for so long and had so many racer friends and so many conversations about riding and racing and the subtleties and like that little tenths that everybody's trying to get extra out of everything. So I knew, well, that mentality translates to things outside of racing. If I focus on that last little 0.1% on my photography or on relationships, on communicating with people, just giving that little extra bit that everybody's striving for at the racetrack. One of my friends who's a instructor with YCRS constantly is saying, how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you're going to do something half-assed here, you're going to do everything half-assed. So focusing on trying to be just a little bit better every time translates very well to everything else in the world. It's just, it's not measured the same way. Well, I started doing motorsports photography kind of before I started riding on the track. I was going to track days with friends, and Sears Point, for example, if you're up in the turn 2 area, you can get some decent photos from the stands. And my friends all bought from the track photographer, so I didn't really feel like I was interfering with anybody's livelihood. And then one day, one of my friends rented me a really nice lens, a Canon 300mm 2.8. He's like, I want better photos from the stands, so I'm going to rent you a lens. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm up. It was an AFM Friday. I'm up in the stands taking photos, and the track photographer was down there. He looks up at me, screams, "Get out of my area, you vulture," or whatever it was. And kind of laughed it off because I knew him, but I could tell he was a little bit serious because I had proper equipment with me. And I talked to him. I didn't stick around for that AFM weekend, but I sent him an email that said, "Hey, I think I've got the ability to do what you do. I'd like to learn more about it. I don't know if you need help, you want help. You can tell me to F off right now. Well, doesn't matter. But if I come out with this cool piece of glass that I'm going to have for the next round 2, would you let me take some photos next to you?" His reply was 3 words: "Bring it, Grandma." So I did. I showed up. I took photos. I followed his instructions. I thought I was doing everything. Everything I took, I thought was pretty decent. And I watched him delete 98% of my photos in front of me. And at one point, he just locked eyes with me and hit the delete button and held it down. Just gone, everything. Didn't even look at him. And soul was crushed at that point. But immediately after that, it was, "What are you doing next weekend? I've got a track day at Reno Fernley Raceway. I want you to come out and take pics." So, saw potential, cultivated potential, taught me a lot of things about what to do, taught me a lot of things about what not to do. Kind of shaped the little bit of what my business is these days. And every photographer that I talk to, I learn something from. And I hope that every photographer I talk to learns something from me. Like, it's a really, really small community. I think in a video I once saw on an AFM banquet, somebody broke down the motorcycling community, and then there's the track day community, which is smaller, and then there's the racing community, which is even smaller. There's a subgroup of that, which is motorsports photographers, which is even smaller. So there's a finite amount of us out there that actually have skills to do it. A lot of people think they can do it. A lot of people have the desire to do it. But I've tried to get people to come out on days like today, where it's going to be 100 and whatever, and it's 90 whatever, and it's going to be 110, and they're already tapping out. Like, how do you do this all day? I'm like, that 0.1% that I was talking about earlier, that's how I do it every day. Because I know it takes that little bit more to do it, and I'm willing to put that little bit more in. It's what I chose to do for a living, and I'm never going to be able to retire from it. I'm going to be doing this until I'm 105 and somebody's pushing me around in a wheelchair. Somebody else is going to have to look at the photos to let me know if they were good. Somebody's going to have to turn the knobs for me and hand me the camera, but I don't do it. Money is secondary. It's the experiences that I have at the track that this provides me. That's why I do it on a regular basis. It's why I show up to the track to begin with. Towards the end of an AFM season, I want to say it was a Formula 1 championship that was on the line. And in practice, one of the top 2 people that were battling for the championship, and it literally was coming down to this last race. Whoever won the last race was going to win the championship. They'd traded first and second throughout the course of the year. So this was literally a winner-take-all situation. And one of the 2 of them blew their motor. Gone, grenaded. Had no B-bike. Had no spare parts. Season over, championship over. Probably number 6 plate out the door too, because they weren't going to score enough points for that. And I really wish I could remember who the competitor was. Neither one of them raced with the club anymore. This was back in 2007 or 2008. But literally gave the competitor his B-bike to race. Because he wanted to win. But he wanted to win. He didn't want to be given a trophy. He wanted to earn the trophy. And part of the joy of scoring all those points was going bar to bar with this guy that I know they weren't good friends. They tolerated each other until the green flag dropped. Then they were arch nemesis best friends. You could tell by watching how they rode that they trusted each other completely. There was no doubt that one of them was going to, if one of them made a hairball move, it's because the other one left the door open enough for it, and neither one of them was going to be upset about it if they both crashed out, because it was a mistake that one of them made, the other one went to capitalize on, and they both knew roles were reversed, they were going to do it the same way. And not to that same extreme where I've seen a competitor give another bike to their main competition, but every race weekend, somebody does that for somebody in their class. You see parts loaned out, somebody calls in a parts request. And if it's a parts request for an R3, there's 2 classes really, that one bike, 2 races that bike really qualifies for. So if a part shows up from that, it's from one of their competitors. It's not somebody from Yamaha going, oh yeah, cool, I got a trailer full of R3 parts for you. If it's a more specific, specialized motorcycle, and there's only 1 or 2 of them there, Greg Sharp used to race an MV Agusta. So if he had a parts problem, there was nobody there. But there was a Moto America weekend that there was a Moto America team, they're in the Superbike shootout, that they shared notes. They were asking, a Moto America team was asking a club racer some questions about their setup and sharing some of their setup information because they rode the same kind of motorcycle. That doesn't happen in any other industry really that I can think of. You don't see baseball players you don't see pitchers telling hitters how they throw their changeup. You don't get the secret behind that 12-inch movement. No, that doesn't happen. But you'll hear racers talk about where their brake markers are, where they're looking, where the proper line is, where they're getting a better drive. And I'm sure it's not that way at the highest level of this sport. Like I highly doubt that MotoGP garages, like KTM isn't sharing information with Ducati for sure. But here if I was, and this has never happened in the history of me racing motorcycles, if I was beating everybody by 20 seconds, that's no fun. If I can get those people 20 seconds faster, or 2 seconds faster, or a tenth faster, then it's a race. It's not just a track day. It's not just me circulating by myself. And for people that are doing a lot of track days that ask about why I race or why they should race, and it's relatively simple. It's not for everybody. It's for the people that want to push themselves a little bit more. It's for the people that are looking for more camaraderie than you get at a track day, in most cases. It's not about the quantity of laps, it's about the quality of laps. You're putting in the best possible 6 laps you can do every single time that green flag drops. There is no, I'm going to work on that next session now. I'm working on that now. I'm going as hard as I can now. It's foot to ass to make you try harder. I was told by people that were track day instructors, if you really truly want to get faster and better at riding motorcycles, start racing motorcycles. Because the people that race motorcycles are truly committed to being better, to doing it correctly, to getting the further education, to making sure that their bike is pristine, ready to go every time. My race weekend goals every single round are: don't fall down, try not to get lapped, drink beer with friends. Those are my 3 goals. Those are constant every single time, and they're my top 3 goals. 4th goal is, let's work on hitting more apexes. Let's work on dropping that lap time. It varies, but don't fall down, try not to get lapped, drink beer with friends.